Welcome to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered, the podcast where we say the things everyone else whispers, feels, or pretends they're totally fine about. Around here, nothing is too awkward, too messy, or too, oh my god, did she really just say that? Yes, I did. This is your space for real talk, real stories, real emotions, and the kind of honesty that makes you laugh, cry, and heal a little. Sometimes all at once. So grab your drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. Because life's too short to sugarcoat it, and I'm not here to do that anyway. Welcome to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Let's get into it. Hey friends, welcome back to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Today's episode is one that's very close to my heart, and I know it will resonate with so many of you in different ways. I'm sitting down with Megan, and we're talking about her journey into motherhood through adoption. This conversation isn't about timelines, labels, or how life is supposed to go. It's about love, resilience, and finding your way to becoming a mom in a way you never imagined. Megan is going to share what she feels comfortable sharing in her own words and in her own time. And I'm so grateful she trusted me with this space. So grab a cozy drink, take a breath, and let's get into it. Before we dive in, tell us a little bit about who Megan is outside of being a mom.
I am a paraprofessional. That's what I do for work. So I work with kids, elementary students,
Okay.
um, and I work with kids that have medical needs or kids that just need extra support to help them get through their schooling. So that's what I do. My husband is a FIAD teacher, um, so that's basically my life is pretty much working and being a mom. So
Yes, I bet that takes up a lot of time, and that's a very important job for what you do. So thank you for doing that. And it's
yeah.
very important that kids that may need a little extra help have that guidance and the extra holding hand, helping them along the way. So
Mhm.
thank
Yeah.
you for that so much.
Yeah.
What does a good day look like for you right now?
A good day for me. Going to work, and we have a unique situation where my husband and I both work at the same elementary school and my son goes to the same elementary school.
Nice.
So it's wonderful. We are all on the same schedule as far as like holidays and breaks, and
Hmm.
we go in at the same time, we get done at the same time. So it just works really well for us. Um, so yeah, usually I'm going to work for the school day, um, working with kids. I get to see my son every once in a while and say hi in the hallway and stuff. That's a whole nother deal trying to keep mom separate from
Right.
work
That
life
would
and
be.
that sort of thing, which it's not hard. We find a really good balance. And I'm not the
Yeah.
one that has a kid um, in the elementary school and that sort of thing. So I'm not the only one, but so yeah, usually doing that. And then usually working out at the end of the day and getting supper on the table and helping my son with homework and going getting him to bed, and that's pretty much
Right.
my
Yes,
day
being a
most of
mom
the
takes
time.
up a lot of your time. That is nice
Mhm.
so that you're all in the same building, that you could connect if you need to. And like you said, your vacation schedules and holidays are all the same. So that is really nice that you have that.
Yeah, I love it.
Do you have any animals?
I do. I actually have, my all black cat sitting beside me
Aw,
on the couch.
nice.
His name is Jaguar,
Okay.
and, we have a scruffy dog named Toasty,
Aw.
who my son named, because he looks like a toasted marshmallow, I guess, his coloring. So and then
That's
I
adorable.
I have, 7 tarantulas,
Oh, nice.
and I have, a leopard gecko, and so that's all of them for now.
That's awesome. I always wanted a gecko, and my husband's into tarantulas and like scorpions, and
Yeah,
we've had a snake, and I'm a cat lady, so I'm kind
yeah,
of open to all kinds of animals as well. So,
yeah, yeah, my
yes,
husband has to deal with it, so
there you go. Well, if you're ready, we'll jump more into like your motherhood story.
Mhm.
When did becoming a mom first feel real to you?
I think it was about, 2015 is when my husband and I got really serious about trying to have kids,
Hmm.
um, and that was quite a journey. I think I got pregnant for the first time in 2016. So it took time, and we had both. been diagnosed with infertility issues. I have
Okay.
cystic ovaries. Um, he had issues as well and went to a urologist, and they said that it was very unlikely that we would ever conceive naturally.
Mm.
So, I was put on hormone therapy type things to
Mhm.
help me ovulate. And so I was put on that. Um, he wasn't on anything at the time, but he also um, got on I think the med that we were both actually put on was Clomid
Okay,
eventually.
yeah.
Um, but I got pregnant when he wasn't on it yet, and I was on it. And unfortunately, we lost the baby really early on. I was 7 weeks, and then when we went for our, like, 9-week ultrasound,
Mhm.
we found out that there was no heartbeat, anymore. So, it was very early on. I miscarried at home. That was a whole I won't get into that, but that was not fun.
No, I
It's
understand completely. Having 8 losses myself, it's never fun to go through that, and everybody goes through it differently, but it's awful. I'm very sorry you had to go through that.
yeah, it's just yeah, and I know so many people that have gone through it. Um, but yeah, after just the one miscarriage and early on, I was like, I'm not doing this again.
Right, yeah.
Because it had been over a year where I was
Mhm.
like, oh, every time I was supposed to get my period, am I pregnant? Is it going to am it,
Mm.
going to be positive
Yeah,
this time? Um, and I was just over it. I was like, I
yeah.
don't do this anymore. And I wrestled with the fact that, why did I get pregnant and then it got taken away, and all the things that go through your mind.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so then eventually I um was considering, okay, well, what do we do from here?
Mhm.
Um, we didn't want to go through an agency because we had friends that had gone through an agency and it took them um quite a long time, which is not normal, but it took them 5 years to get
Oh, wow.
their daughter as
Mhm.
an infant. And it was also very expensive. And my husband and I
Yes.
both have still student loans and stuff. So
Mm.
like,
Mhm.
I didn't want to do that. So I did some research and I found out that you can adopt through fostering. And so that was an avenue that I wanted to explore. And I had to do some digging, but through our county here in Minnesota, Carver County, I got in touch with a social worker. It was actually very easy. Just online, asked for information about becoming foster parents.
Oh, nice.
They got a hold of me right away, because they really need people. They just
Mhm.
don't have enough people to service the amount of kids that come through there. Um, so yeah, they got a hold of us right away, and I'm trying to remember. So we got put with a social worker, and she was lovely. Um, I can't say enough good things about her. She walked us through the whole process. So you have home visits that have to be done. You have a certain amount of classes that you have to take, like
Mhm.
car seat, like putting in a car seat and stuff. It's
Yes.
it's just crazy how much and my husband and I both had to attend. And so we had to have like so many hours worth of these classes before
Mhm.
we could become licensed foster care providers. Which I think is absolutely crazy because, people get pregnant and have kids without having any,
Yes. I agree with you
any,
on that one.
any teaching or prior knowledge or
Yes.
whatever. Um, so yeah, um, I felt really prepared at the time. I was working at a daycare center. So
Oh, nice.
I'm very familiar with children. And, my husband he still was a Phi-Ed teacher and working with elementary students. So we felt as prepared as possible, I think. But so I'm trying to remember when we started the process. I want to say we started the process in, I want to say the fall. And then we got licensed in January of
Okay.
2016.
Okay.
And we only had two um, foster children other than my son
Mhm.
before. So we had one boy who was about, if I remember correctly, 3 or 4, and it was an unfortunate situation. Mom and dad were split up. It was a
Oh.
he said, she said type of thing. And, dad said that mom was being abusive and stuff. And that was, from what I could tell, that was not the
Mhm.
case. They
Aw.
asked,
Yeah.
does he have, marks on him? I said, no, he doesn't have marks on him. And, he missed mom a lot. He was crying a lot.
Right.
Um, and she talked to him every night on the phone.
Mm.
Um, So it was very clear that, dad was just trying to
Right.
get mom in trouble and was upset about mom's new boyfriend and that sort of.
Oh, that's
Um,
horrible.
but
Yes.
yeah, doing foster care was interesting because, you have to coordinate with, visits with mom and dad, mom or dad, uh,
Mhm.
coordinate visits with possible, if there's siblings involved. Luckily, most of the time, they would have people come and pick the child up for us and take them
Okay.
to their home visits.
Mhm.
And that was a free of charge thing. So that was nice because a lot of times, I it was a lot.
Oh, yeah, that
You
would
can make
be.
a full-time job out of
I'm
you
sure.
scheduling things and running the kids around and stuff. And then so he was only with us for like about a month,
Okay.
and then he went right back to mom.
Mhm.
Um, and then we didn't, and that was in, I want to say, February or March of, I think, 2016. And so then we got another foster child. It was a girl, and
Mhm.
she was 3, and we got her, I believe, in August.
Okay.
And her story was completely different. She got taken in the middle of the night from mom. Mom went on the run with her. So the authorities had
Oh,
to
wow.
find her. And so it was in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning. They dropped
Aw.
her house. She was in what looked like old pajamas,
Mhm.
messy pajamas. She was kind of dirty.
Aw.
And I mean, luckily, knock on wood, as far as like, I expected her to have difficulty sleeping and
Right.
things like that, but that was never a problem.
Aw, that's good.
Um, So that really made things easier. But again, going from not having kids to then having
Oh,
one
yeah.
is a big change.
Oh, yeah.
But we made it work, and she went to daycare with me, and I didn't have to pay for it, which was really nice because I
Oh,
worked
that's good.
there.
Mhm.
Um, so she went with me, and I had met her mom, and her mom was trying very hard to get her back, and she was actually taken because of mom's drug use.
Okay.
Um, And so and she also had, step siblings, so I had to coordinate with, mom's ex-husband,
Oh,
so that
wow.
visits to go see him, and like I said,
Yeah.
luckily, they came to pick her up for all the visits
Oh,
and
that's good, yes.
take her, um, because again, like, I couldn't take off work all the time,
Right. Oh, yeah, that's a
yeah,
lot.
um, but yeah, so then, I'm trying to think, so we got her in August, and then, um my son was born on November 19th. It was a Sunday.
Okay.
Um, and so at the time, we still had this foster girl who was,
Mhm.
she turned 4 when she was with us in October. So, um, still in diapers. I was not going to try to potty train her because
No.
it's just too much. She's
Yeah.
in an environment that she doesn't know. And, although it was pretty stable, it was still
Right.
very new for her. And I
Oh, of
was like, I
course.
just don't even want to, you know,
Yeah.
try to go through that with everything that she's been through. But, um, so then he was born on a Sunday, and I got a call on Monday from our social worker saying, hey, we want to know if you want to be considered for placement for an infant that was born yesterday.
Oh boy, yeah.
um, and I was like, yes, absolutely. But at the time, we didn't know, they didn't know the sex. They didn't know um, what background he had, what
Mhm.
ethnicity he was,
Right.
didn't know anything. I said, well, we're interested.
Mhm.
Absolutely, we would like to be considered because that is what I had told her at the beginning of our journey, that that's what we wanted all along, was to have an infant if at all.
Right. Yeah.
Um, and we made it very clear that we wanted to adopt, and
Mhm.
so she knew all of that stuff. So she was always on the lookout for infants and for young kids, because we said we would possibly adopt a child up to 4 years old. Uh,
Okay, yeah.
so that was kind of our age range. The younger, the better, just because they don't have as much trauma. Uh,
Yeah, that's understandable.
but anyways, so he born on a Sunday. Mom actually dropped him off at a medical center.
Okay.
It was like an urgent care center. She dropped him off within hours of giving birth to him.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
I went and visited the nurses and um, the policeman that was the guardman that was there the day that he was dropped off, I guess,
Mhm.
and got to bring Shepherd with. Shepherd is my son's name.
Yes.
Um, and got to bring him with, so that he could visit everybody.
Aw.
They just said, their whole world stopped because they don't,
Aw.
because it was, so mom relinquished him through Minnesota has a Minnesota Safe Act.
Okay.
So that means that you can drop off an infant at any um, medical establishment, hospital, anywhere, or fire department, police department,
Mhm.
and you can relinquish that infant, no questions asked,
Okay, yes.
and anonymously.
Yeah.
Um, so that's what she did. She basically, the nurses told me, she said, is this a safe place? They said yes, and she just handed him over, and she said, I can't do this.
Aw.
And they told me that the only thing I know about her is that she was very young.
Aw.
Um, she was by herself. She tied his umbilical cord with a shoestring, so we're guessing she gave birth at home,
Aw.
possibly by herself. And she had him in a way too big sleeper that was probably,
Aw.
but she cared about him enough to
Right, yes.
make a plan, and to she knew what she was going to do, and try to give him the best possible chance that he could have. Um, so I will be forever grateful to her for that. Um,
Yes. That
because
is
it was a
amazing
very
that she
selfless act.
yes, of course, yes. That is amazing, and I follow, though I apologize, I can't follow the exact name of them right now, but the boxes for the babies and how they're getting all over the country now where you can surrender your baby at, like, the fire stations, and,
Yes.
I always share and advocate for that anytime I see that to try to get them all over the country,
Yeah, I
so
wonder if we have any in Minnesota, but I know since the Minnesota Safe Act that
Mhm.
anyway, yeah. So that's just a really cool thing about Minnesota, that I never knew about until
Right.
I went through this experience. So yeah. So we got him at 4 days old. We were I think there were 6 other couples that were being considered. So they deliberated. I got the call on Monday. They deliberated on Tuesday, and then I got the call on Wednesday, that we were picked and that we could go and take him home. So it happened very quickly, and then we quickly became a two-child family all of a sudden.
Yes, overnight,
Yeah,
almost, yes.
overnight. Yeah, yeah. And it was a bummer because I didn't get maternity leave. Um,
Mm. That was gonna
because
be my next question. Did you get any
yeah,
time for that?
no, I didn't get any time for that because he was considered a foster child.
Okay, yeah.
And so that was it's a whole process.
Mhm,
So mom relinquished her rights to him the moment that she handed him over, but
mhm.
they also had to legally sever dad's rights, whoever
Okay, yeah.
dad may be.
Mhm,
So they posted, you know, his birth in the papers and things to try to get a hold of whoever dad was. I don't even know.
mhm.
Dad dad probably doesn't even know, you know,
Right.
he
Mhm.
exists.
Yeah.
Um, that's what I would imagine this scenario being. But so it took a while. It was a slow process, and so it was about a year later when we finally finalized the adoption.
Yes. Yeah, that would take some time and, yeah, that's a lot to go through, so I can imagine, like you said, you went through different, ages and then you got thrown in a baby, but that's what you wanted and that's what you guys were signed up for, and that's amazing that you guys did that. I know fostering can be very difficult, and as someone that is a lost mom, you know, that's people's first response, "Well, you can foster or adopt." Thank you for bringing to light how not easy it is to just
It
start
yeah.
fostering or adopting.
Yeah,
People tend to forget
not
all the
but
steps.
it's not
Yeah.
everybody's cup of tea, and I totally understand that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, for us, it was we just knew that we would have to foster at least a couple
Right.
before they would consider
Of
us
course.
for a permanent placement.
Right, yeah.
Um, we were just like, this is what's gonna happen. But the nice thing is, and what some people may not know is that you can pick and choose the
Mhm.
children and the amount of children that you want to take in.
Oh, okay. That's good to
And
know, yeah.
sometimes they will have tons of background information on that child, and sometimes
Mhm.
they will have nothing. Um,
Right, yeah.
I just remember her so fondly because she was the first child that ever called me mommy. S-
Aw, that is
Um,
special.
yeah, she was, and she actually went to a wonderful family. They asked us about 6 months after she left foster care if we would take her in and
Mhm.
permanently. And I was like, I just can't do that because
Right.
I'm a new mom. I've got an infant. I said I can
Yeah.
only handle one at a time. But she went to a lovely family that didn't have any children, and her mom was an RN
Oh,
or
that's
is an
good.
RN. And I talked to her and tried to give her as much background information as I could, um, you know, as far
Mhm.
as like her time with us and stuff. So she was in very good hands.
That's good. At least you know where she went and where she ended up, and you could communicate with them and, check in on her. And yeah, that
Mhm.
would be the hard part for me is I think I would get too attached. That's one reason besides, I'm not in the best situation or circumstance for that yet. That's a goal of mine to eventually look into foster care adoption, but we don't own our own house yet. And there's a
Sure.
lot to come with that. So,
Uh,
but it's not off the table for me. But yeah, I think that would be a hard part, but also it's your purpose and that's what, you're giving and sharing and saving a child from possibly going through another horrible situation in their time of
right.
need, so
Right. And we call it, and you learn through taking the classes and stuff that
Mhm.
they always want to reunite the children with their families. That is
Yes.
the end goal, and that is what they like. That's what they advocate for, no
Mhm.
matter how bad the situation. Um, so as long as the parents are working towards getting the kids back and doing everything that the courts
Mhm.
demand do, um, then they end up going back.
That's good, though. That's how
It
it should be, unless it's an absolutely horrible situation, everybody should be
Right.
given that second chance or,
For
everyone goes through things, so
Yep, yep, and, yeah, so it's just, but yeah, you kinda go into it knowing that it may not be forever,
right.
and
Yeah.
usually you know, in the beginning about not necessarily how long they'll be with you, but
Mhm.
you know if it's going to be a short time or a long time.
Right.
We had, our little girl from foster care for about 6 months.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I always knew from the beginning that
Right.
she was gonna go back to mom because mom was
Yeah.
working towards actively working towards getting her back.
Right, yes. That is nice, I mean, to know kind of, and you can follow along, I'm sure, with, all the court proceedings and everything else, then you know what the steps are, so you do kinda have a heads up with that, so that is good.
Yep, yep, and our social worker always uh, kept us up to date on what was going on, with the courts and um and how mom was complying with everything, so
Right. Well, thank you for sharing all that with me. Like I said, it's very selfless for what you and your husband did, and I think you guys are both amazing people for what you do and did.
yeah.
And I'm sure all of the children that have come into your lives have been very lucky to have you guys. How has motherhood changed you in ways that you didn't expect?
Well, one thing is you realize how selfish you are
That is a good point. I
really
could see that.
quickly.
Yeah. Want your
Uh,
alone time and want to do your things, and
well,
yeah.
yeah, it probably doesn't help that like we waited so long. Um, so I think so Shepard was born in 2017. How old was I? I was like 31,
Hmm.
32. And we had gotten married when I was 21.
Okay.
So it was a decent amount of time with us
Right.
both being alone and
Hmm.
kind of set in our ways. So sometimes I wonder if having kids early on would have been easier.
Right. Yeah,
It's
that's a lot of changes, so
it is, but I don't know. I think also if you're more established with,
mhm.
your job and your living situation and stuff, that all helps too. So,
Yeah, that
I-
makes more sense. Sometimes when we're younger, we don't have all that, and when you're
right,
older, you may be in a better place to give them a better life or be more stable. So that does
right.
make a lot of sense. But I can see both sides of that. Yeah, when you're younger, it may have been a little, the sleepless nights and stuff may have been easier. And then when we're a little bit
Yeah,
older, or like you said, you guys have been a couple for so long, just the two of
right,
you, that would be a
right.
big change. So
It was a huge change. And so adjusting to that was a lot harder than I had expected. But Shepherd was an easy baby.
well,
So
that's good.
he always slept really well. He
Oh.
ate really well. Um, I did not breastfeed. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm, but there are, I could have taken
Mhm.
hormones to lactate and to breastfeed, but I just, I figured formula is okay.
Right. Yes.
And, he's perfectly healthy and all the things. So formula did not hurt. But I also thought about, they have milk banks
Oh
now.
yeah. Mhm.
So I thought about that too. But that was kind of brand new when
Mhm.
Shepherd was an infant. So I didn't really look into that. But I know, like, I see on Facebook and different like swap and shop things on
Oh
Facebook.
yeah.
They like, moms are selling extra breast milk or just giving it away because
Right.
I can't do anything with it and then I
Yeah.
don't want it to go to waste. So um I think those are all really good ways to baby supplement if you can't breastfeed.
Right.
I know a lot of
Yeah.
women can't even when they do give birth. Like I
Mhm.
have friends who um got mastitis really bad, like,
Mhm.
every single time they gave birth, and so
Right. Oh
that
yeah.
was one of my, former roommates, and, so she could never breastfeed, and, there's a lot of
Yeah.
stigma with that, and society kinda makes you feel bad that,
Right. Mhm.
breast is best, and,
Mhm.
um, which is not necessarily true. It's just
Right.
whatever is works for you and your situation and your
Mhm.
body that just,
Right. Yeah, that's very important. And I know some lactation specialists, and I've also had a doula on here that I'll be releasing later, and she
Mhm,
is postpartum doula as well. So she brings that up too. Yeah, however your baby's fed, however they're nourished, like you said, one reason I'm doing this podcast, especially one of the biggest topics, is the pregnancy and infant loss and everything that goes along with that. We need to break the stigma around all those things because it's just human nature, and it's just
mhm,
what we all need to do to survive. Who cares if someone used breast and someone used bottle? Like, as long as the
right,
baby's healthy, then yes.
yep, exactly, yeah,
Yeah,
totally,
That's a plus for technology. Sometimes we look down on technology. I mean, I do too. I sometimes wish we could go back to not having our phones,
Right.
at our hand all the time and stuff. But like you said, the banks for the women to share and stuff, that's really special that that is available because I'm sure, in the 70s and 80s, women were probably lost on what to do. So,
Yeah, it was probably not I would imagine it wasn't a
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So that is amazing. I'm glad you brought that up. What would you want someone listening to this podcast who may be waiting, grieving, or considering adoption to hear today?
That you aren't alone.
That's a good point. Yep.
Um, because I felt very alone. I'm sorry, I'm gonna
I'm
cry.
sure. Oh, you're fine. This is raw, open. You let all the emotions out,
I
so I
know
could
I haven't
imagine.
thought about it in a long time, but, I know that I felt, very alone. I miscarried at home
Mhm.
and by myself because it was so early on,
Right.
um, and then you have this little fetus and you're like, "What do I do?"
Yeah.
I mean, I was lucky that my mom happened to be here because it was over I remember it was over Thanksgiving, and I'm just like, "Well, what do I do? Do we bury it? What do we do?"
Right. I know,
And
it's hard.
sh and yeah, I could have,
Right, yeah.
uh, but she's like, "I don't what are you gonna" and it was, like, the middle of winter, we couldn't really
Right.
do it, so,
Yeah.
unfortunately, just like a goldfish, I flushed it,
I
so
I completely understand, not to make it all about me, but I completely understand your pain with
yeah,
that. My
yeah,
first loss was also, 2017 as we tried for years. We got married in 2014.
mhm,
That was my first positive pregnancy test the day before Valentine's Day. Told my husband for
mhm,
Valentine's Day. I was turning 30 that year in March, so that was gonna
mhm,
be my big announcement. I was
mhm,
working in banking at the time,
mhm.
and 3 days after I found out, I just started spotting and having all the pains, but I didn't know what to do
What it
because 'cause I'd never been through that, and,
It's
I went to the bathroom and, yes, the sack was in my underwear, and, yeah, same as you,
yeah.
what do you
What do
do?
you
You
do?
just
I mean,
stand there
you're
and
like,
kinda like
do I have a funeral?
yeah.
What do
Yeah, and I
'cause
was
it's a
at
life.
work
You're
too, and I'm like so unfortunately, I, did the same thing you did. What are we supposed to do? And we have no education on that. So I just went back to work and
Well,
pretended
yeah,
like nothing happened. So
nobody
yeah.
talks about those things, and, my mom even
Yeah.
told me, she's like, "I don't know how to help you," because she's like, "I've never had a miscarriage."
Yeah. It's
Um,
hard.
so she felt it was really hard for her to watch me go through that.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It is hard. I think being alone is one of the biggest emotions tied into that. And that's another thing with technology and all these groups available. I'm so thankful for that because in my darkest times, that pulled me out of some really dark times with my losses. So, but yeah, I completely understand your pain and the confusion and being alone and not sure what to do or even how to feel. The emotions with that are always up and down, even to this day after this many years, so
Yeah. Yep. It never goes away, the
no.
loss.
Not
It
at all.
gets easier to
Mhm.
carry
Yes,
is just a part of you.
absolutely. So, thank you for sharing that with me. I know it's raw and vulnerable to go into such detail and share that, but that's why I want to do this.
Mhm.
As you mentioned before, you're not alone. I want everyone to know they're not alone, no matter how their story is, how different everyone's story is, whether you're healed or not, or whether you've talked about it. I just want people to listen, have
Mhm.
something resonate with them or someone that they care about. So, thank you so much
Mhm.
for sharing that with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you could speak to your past self at the beginning of this journey, what would you say?
I would say, because I believe in a higher power,
Mhm.
that, um, everything is in God's time.
Right.
Um, and I know that seems really cliche, and at the time, I didn't wanna hear it,
Right.
especially, when I had a miscarriage and stuff. I was like, "How is this, you know, God's will and
Right.
all this pain and all this suffering that I'm going through? Why did you let me get pregnant if it's just gone
Mhm.
like that?" So, um, but yeah, I would say that God's timing is perfect, and even um, and it's different usually than I thought I had a time that we were going to be pregnant. I thought
Right.
everything was going to be easy, but it
Mhm.
wasn't. Um,
Yes.
so that threw off my timeline. Um, And I just had to let go of all of my thoughts and preconceived notions of how I thought this was going to go and how I thought I was going to start a family.
Yes, yes, and that's the hard part, and I completely understand that and that. I definitely have struggled with my faith over time with that because as you said, like, "Why me? Why did you do this to me? What did
Yep.
I do? Why do those people get to have babies?"
Yep.
And,
Yep.
your innocence is
All of that.
truly taken from you when you lose a baby because we all think growing up, we all play, mom, wife, and think
Mhm.
we all just get our baby someday, and it doesn't happen that way for a lot of us, and
Right.
it's horrible,
And
so
nobody really discusses it.
no.
Well, back in the day, it
Mhm.
was taboo to talk about
Yes.
those sorts of things. It was
Mhm.
taboo to talk about your period or
Yep.
women's health or anything in general, uh,
Yes.
as far as women's bodies go.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, I would say that the timing of everything, you don't have to be like everybody else, and it
Mhm.
doesn't have to. Your life doesn't have to look like everybody else's. It
Yep.
can it can be different, and that can be good.
Yes.
It can be just as good and just as miraculous as everybody else's experience.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you on that. I think we all have these timelines in our heads and what life's going to look like, and it doesn't happen that way. So,
Yep.
yes, no, but I agree with you. Of course, I always wanted to have a baby, and I give you a lot of credit and strength for deciding after your one loss that you didn't want to go through that anymore. It took me a long time to get to that point, but I completely understand the mental, the physical toll it took on you. It's really hard. A lot of people don't realize that. They don't realize when you have a miscarriage, you go into
Mhm.
labor, your
Yeah.
body goes through all
Yeah.
the symptoms, your
Yep.
hormones are out of whack for months after that. So people just think, the women that get to bring their babies home, have all the support and everything afterwards. So once they have miscarriages, like, okay,
Nobody.
whatever.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No,
Nobody
it's
checks
horrible.
on you.
Yeah.
You don't get a
Yeah.
call from the doctor. Nothing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and that's what really brought me to this podcast. I had started a blog before during my losses that helped me get through and helped me heal in ways I didn't
Mhm.
expect, and that's what I want to do with this podcast. It helps me heal, having others reach out to me, letting me know that, they felt alone until they heard my story, or they're thankful that I talk about it because has so much stigma around it. So that's helps me heal and helps me feel that is my path and that is what I'm destined for. So
Yeah. And another point that I was going to bring up, and I keep forgetting, that oh, I lost it.
no worries.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I had to, again, I had to grieve, not starting a family the way that I thought it was good.
Mhm.
I had to grieve, and get over the loss of actually not having a biological child, which was
Yes.
really hard,
Mhm.
um, to get over.
Yeah.
And that took a lot, even like a couple years ago, I was like, gosh, my timing is getting really, really short here.
Aw,
you
yeah.
know, you feel that biological clock
Oh, yeah.
ticking down, and
Mhm.
it's not just, other people, although that doesn't help either.
No, it doesn't.
That's a whole
Yeah.
nother
Oh,
worms.
yeah.
People are always like,
Oh,
are you
yeah.
getting pregnant? Are you
Oh,
getting
yeah.
pregnant again?
No,
And I'm like,
yeah.
no, it's none of your business.
People don't understand how insensitive that is. I know they
I
don't
know.
mean it, but
I
please
know.
don't.
I
If you
know.
can't
It's
say anything, just don't say anything, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
That used to irritate me to no end,
Oh,
especially when
yeah.
I was, yeah, we're trying, people.
Yeah.
You don't
That's
know,
the
you don't
worst.
understand how hard.
Mhm.
But yeah, um, so that was another thing is just grieving the fact that I don't have a biological child.
Yeah.
Um, but for me, I don't know about your familial history,
Mhm.
but mine is not great.
Right.
Um, my brother had Tourette's and he had ADHD, and I am bipolar.
Mhm.
I recently got diagnosed with that. And then my husband on his side of the family has schizophrenia, and like I said, my side of the family has bipolar, um, Parkinson's, just
Mhm.
a lot. a lot autism, a lot of
Right.
things. So so I kind of look at it this way that maybe your genes wouldn't have meshed that well.
Right. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
So obviously something didn't work out
Right.
because,
Mhm.
it was our baby wasn't viable.
Mhm.
So genetically something was off. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, I take comfort in the fact that, maybe it just was not meant to be.
Yes.
And again, that's another cliche thing, but
Right. I know
there's
people probably think we're giving up when we say that or say, just no. I completely what you understand what you mean by that. Timing, maybe. I mean, there's been some with my losses that the timing would have been horrible. A lot of mine, I didn't even know I was pregnant. So yeah,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand that completely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story on adoption, becoming a mother, and of course your pregnancy loss. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable on that. I always like to end with some rapid fire questions,
Yeah.
kind of lighten the mood a little bit, just kind of some fun ones. So, coffee or tea?
I mostly coffee, but I do like
Most
tea a lot.
yeah. Nice. Sweet or salty snacks?
Sweet. I have a very bad sweet tooth.
Hey, that's okay. Chocolate. I like Lindor truffles, they're my favorite.
I
Er
like gummies.
oh, nice, yeah. We're a big gummy family in my maiden family. My
Mhm.
nieces, even growing up, they'd always be like, "Gummies are a Prince thing," because we all like our gummy bears and stuff like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
so
I love them.
early mornings or late nights?
Late nights. I've never been a morning person, ever.
No.
Never, ever. Even when I was a younger, even, like,
Mhm.
in school and stuff, I just never got over.
Right. Yeah, you either are or you aren't, so
Yeah, I've never been.
Texting or voice notes?
Um, Texting.
Texting, yeah. Favorite comfort show or movie?
Um, Comfort. Right now I've been watching, Ghosts.
Okay.
So I really like that show. That's a really cool one.
Yeah, that's a good one. My mom was really into that show. I only watched a couple episodes, but I do like that one. Target run or Amazon order?
Oof.
Both.
Probably Amazon because
Yeah.
even though I just went to Target today. Um, but Amazon just because it's much more convenient, and if I need something, I can just, order it and I don't have to go anywhere.
So
Okay, sounds good.
okay, well, just a couple more questions, I'll do my outro, so
Sure.
let's see here. One word that fits your current season of life.
I I would say struggle, but
No. Hey, that's being real and honest.
that's a whole nother can of worms. Just being recently diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure that's a
Navigating
change.
that whole scenario this past year has been really hard. So I am very excited for a new year.
Yes, I
Hopefully,
understand.
it'll be much kinder than the last.
Well, that's good. I hope your year is much kinder to you and, everything regulates and works out and you're always more than welcome to come back and share any other stories that you have or any other journeys that you'd like to share with me. So, like I
Yeah,
said, I'm open and any topic is not off the tables. All right. Well, Megan, thank you so much for trusting me and all of us with your story today. Your
yeah,
journey is such a reminder that motherhood doesn't have one definition, one timeline, or one right path. To anyone listening who saw themselves in even a small piece of this conversation, you are not behind, you are not broken, and your story still matters.
mhm,
If this
absolutely.
episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need it. And as always, you're welcome here. Until next time, this is Mel Mel reminding you that life is messy, love is powerful, and your story is worth telling.
Perfect.
Bye. All right, friends, that's a wrap on today's episode of Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Thank you for spending this time with me and stepping into the real, the raw, the messy, and the magical, because we don't do surface level here. If this episode hit home, made you laugh, or helped you feel a little less alone, go ahead and follow the podcast and share it with someone who might need it too. And remember, you are never too much, never too little, and never alone on this wild ride. I'll meet you back here next time for more truth, more feels, and more unfiltered goodness. This is Auntie Mel Mel signing off. Stay real, stay kind, and stay unfiltered. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This is Auntie Mel Mel. If this episode made you laugh, think, or feel a little less alone, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Sharing it really helps this community grow. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and right here on YouTube. I'll see you in the next episode of Life Unfiltered.